Hello everyone, and today we're going to be taking a look at this mod for Medieval 2 Total War that's fairly new. It's called Bronze Age Empires, and it's essentially a version of the Bronze Age mod campaign for Rome Total War, the original Rome Total War, adapted for the Medieval 2 engine. And I have to say, it does look nicer. A lot of the assets and things are the same. So let's go over the factions here in the campaign. So you've got Ramses II leading Egypt. You have the Libyans, Babylonia. This was the time of the Kassite dynasty, the middle Babylonian period with the great king Natsi Murutash. Now, Z's in Akkadian are always pronounced with ts. So the interesting thing here is that, okay, so you also have Assyria under Adad Nirari. You have Elam under King Humban Numena. So this H in Akkadian is ch, but in Elamite it's a h. Okay, so you have Humban Numena leading the Elamites here in southern Iran. So their capital cities are Susa and Anshan, right? So Cyrus the Great. Cyrus is father, grandfather. They were called kings of Anshan. You also have the Gutians who lived in the Zagros. Mycenae under King Atreus. You have Thebes, the Thebes in Greece. You have Troy. So actually, I think in the Bronze Age mod for Rome Total War, Troy is called Wilusha. So Wilusha is just the Hittite name of the Trojan region, of course. That is cognate to Greek Ilion or Wilion, Ilium, right, in Latin. It had a D gamma at the beginning, Wilion, that was lost eventually. So then you have the Hittites under King Muwatalli II. Then you have Arzawa under King Tapalatunawali. So Arzawa is a very interesting kingdom. They probably spoke Luvian. They were probably Luvian speakers, so Luvian, one of the Anatolian Indo-European languages. Along with Hittite, they're both Anatolian Indo-European languages. That branch is dead now. There are also the Kashka. So the Kashka lived in what is now, what was eventually Pontus, essentially the Pontic region. And the Kaska were kind of brigands for the Hittites. So the Hittites always depict them as, raiding, doing general land piracy. Then you have the Mitanni, of course. So the Mitanni are interesting because the population, they were Hurrian, right? They're Hurrian. But the upper class seems to have been some sort of Indo-European speaking group. So there's even a treaty where they invoke Indra, or a deity with a similar name to Indra. So that's very interesting. And then you have the Nairi. Of course, the Nairi related to the eventual Urartian kingdom. So the Urartians were one of these Nairi groups. Probably. Then we have Phoenicia and Amuru, so the Amorites. Right, so they were the Amorites, and then eventually the Aramaeans came from this region. And then you have the Aramaeans. So let's start a campaign here as, I suppose, everyone's favorite faction, the Mitanni. But I'm just going to showcase a couple more aspects of the mod. There's a major detail that I have to mention, of course. Now, the original Bronze Age mod for Rome Total War, I made a review of it, of course, on the channel. You can check it out in the cards of the video. So, of course, the capital of the Mitanni was Washukani, right? And they had also subjugated quite a large area of the ancient Near East a little bit earlier than this. This was kind of their period of decline, but they controlled Assyria and a few other regions. They even attacked the Hittites several times and pushed deeper into their territory. Now, the art and stuff in this mod is very well done. Again, I believe a lot of the assets are taken from the Bronze Age mod for the original Rome Total War, with permission. And there are a lot of descriptors here, so descriptors for provinces and ruins and things like that. So this is an excellent mod in that regard. And there are a bunch of unique buildings. Of course, every faction has shrines to their own gods. So, of course, the king in the Hurrian pantheon is Teshub, right? So, the storm god. The storm god is Tarhunta in Hittite, which is actually related to the word Tarragon. Of course, Tarragon looks kind of like thunder, so it's related to that Tarhunta, the Hittite storm god. But anyway, let's showcase the map. One of the things I really like about this map is that it's very detailed. Now, you could argue that the scale of the map is not big enough to accommodate all of these settlements, and I tend to agree here. So actually, that's why this mod has to utilize this province system, where each region has several different cities in it. So this is the Huru region, and this is Huru Sagaratum, which is just the region of Huru that has the city Sagaratum in it. This is the region of Huru that has Tutul in it. This is the region of Huru that has Washukani in it, and so on and so forth. So Mat Akkadi, of course, Mat in Akkadian just means land. So this is the land of Akkad, which referred to northern Mesopotamia in this period. I mean, until the end of Mesopotamian civilization. And actually, yeah, the southern Mesopotamia should be Sumer, but in any case, that's a minor niggle, minor details. But in any case, we also have Elam here. Yeah, I would say the settlements are a bit more dense than I would like, right? Now, what else did I want to show here? So that was Elam, and then you have the Gutians in the north here. So actually, this is Karkasi, so the kind of like the fortress of the Kassites. And the Kassites were actually a group that came from the Zagros Mountains and conquered Mesopotamia. So the Kassites were actually probably an Indo-European group. I say probably because we don't exactly know their language very well. We just have proper names, names of gods, things of that nature. And of course, we have the major Mesopotamian centers included in this mod, including Ngirsu. So actually, this ng phoneme was in Sumerian, but the Akkadians did not really understand this phoneme. That's why they always wrote this as M or N or G in different contexts. So that's how we know this was a ng G phoneme. So in this period, it probably would not have been pronounced this way, but I'm not going to get too upset about that. But you have Lagash, of course, and Umma, which, of course, everyone's favorite city, Umma. Then you have Ur, the city of Ur in the south. You have Uruk, Larsa, Shurupak, Nippur, Larak, Isin, Borsippa, Babylon, Kish. Now, a lot of people, Kish should be a little more north, I think. Or actually, no, it's a good location. Sippar's in the north. Yeah, that's correct. So a lot of people say Babilu it means the gate of the gods because Bab is like gate and then Ilu is god. But actually, this is probably a folk etymology and we're not entirely sure what this means. It's probably Sumerian. So in that case, that etymology, which is Akkadian, would not make sense. But anyway, we can discuss that in another video later. But of course, the capital in this Kassite period should actually be Dur Kurigalzu. Yeah, interesting. In any case, let's take a look at the northern part of the map here. So we've got Mitanni and then the Assyrians to the east of them. And, the Assyrian start position is not quite as strong as you might think. Because, of course, the Assyrians had just kind of broken away from Mitanni control. But it's good to see them here. So they have a kind of a tougher start position, I would say. Probably the Gutians, the Casca, Troy, and perhaps the Aramaeans and the Nairi have tough start positions. So, yeah, the Nairi up north here, their capital here is at Tushpa. Now, we don't exactly know much about the geography of this northern Nairi region here, the Armenian highland, in terms of, settlement names and things like that in this period. But I think, they've done as decent a job as any. Of course, here's Metsamor, the site of the modern nuclear power plant in Armenia. You can go there, and near the nuclear power plant, there is actually the remains of the ancient fortress, as well as several statues of a rather inappropriate nature. But in any case, you also have the Hittites here, with their capital at Khatusha, as well as other major cities like Purush Khanda, Tarhum Tasha, of course, the city of the storm god, Kanesh, which of course everyone knows from the old Assyrian period as being the site of a major Assyrian trading colony. Not in this period anymore. And then, of course, the Hittites had a kind of vassal kingdom over here in what eventually became known as Kilikia. Right, so I believe this was called Kitsuwatna. Yes, it was. Yes, I am correct. And then Alalakh was a major city here. And this was, of course, the kind of frontier between the Egyptians that were growing in power as well as the Hittites, and they had the Battle of Kadesh right here, near Kadesh. So you could reenact the Battle of Kadesh in this mod, which is nice. And then you have Artsawa. We don't know too much about them. We have a couple letters from them in the from Akhenaten's capital, right? And then we have Egypt, of course, it's Egypt. Not much else to say about that. And then we have Libya. And you have Mycenae and Thebes here. So that's very cool to see. Now, issue with this mod. So, the unit rosters are fleshed out. You have interesting infantry, so Hurrian infantry, Mitanni infantry, Hurrian archers, Mitanni chariots, right? So every faction has a nice little unit roster here. And in the Bronze Age mod, you can actually play the battles, right? And it's interesting because, of course, with just chariots and infantry, melee infantry, and then missile infantry, you have to kind of figure out ways to utilize your chariots and to neutralize enemy chariots, right? But in the Medieval 2 version of this mod, unfortunately, there are no real-time battles. The mod maker has not, finished adding all of the unit models necessary to have the real-time battles. So that's really unfortunate here. So that's pretty much everything I have to say about this mod. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope that this mod gets enough attention so that someone or the main mod maker decides to add all the unit models necessary or port them from Rome Total War to Medieval 2 so that this mod can have real-time battles. And then this mod would be great, and there would be every reason to play this version of the mod over the one for the original Rome Total War, because, you know, that mod with a better battle AI, that would be really good. So, who knows? Perhaps that will happen at some point, but that's pretty much everything I have to say about this mod. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoy videos about the historical Total Wars and their mods, consider leaving a like on this video and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.